Hello, one and
I'm
all.
ready.
Are you done?
Go ahead.
Hello, one and all. My name is Ryan Bruce,
I'm Mike Squires.
and we are going to use a Fractal FM3 to dial in a patch using a Seymour Duncan Powerstage 700. Let's do it. Hello, everyone. I am here at me and Mike's podcasting studio in downtown Seattle, and we have something a little special for you today. We are going to take a tried and true tube amp guy, and we're going to create a patch using my Fractal FM3 into a Seymour Duncan Powerstage 700 power amp into Mike's 112 Friedman that looks like a piece of 1950s upholstery.
Oh, isn't it pretty?
It's very, very beautiful. It is a incredible looking 112.
I think it's one of a kind. I believe it to be one of a kind.
I have never seen certainly any Friedman, but I've never seen another extension cab with that specific Tolex cover.
I have two of them. I have an amp that looks just like it.
Oh, it's gorgeous. It also sounds incredible too. The cab is equipped with a 65 watt Celestion Creamback, and periodically through the patch dialing process, I will be switching to the amp sim out via XLR from the Powerstage as well. So you can kind of get a sense of the differences between this vintage 30 based, I believe, cab sim and an actual Celestion Creamback. So why are we doing this? Well, we like to have fun.
What is this? What is this? This is the new Xbox?
This is the new Xbox. No, so the Powerstage 700 is geared specifically and voiced specifically for guitar players and guitar amps. What you get on the front is a 3-band EQ and a level, of course. Now the 700 is 700 watts per side, and this is a stereo power amp. We are not going to be using those capabilities. I mean, we are already in danger. We could blow this speaker if we wanted to, no problem with the wattage available with the Powerstage 700. We're not going to do that.
We could run 412s with no problem whatsoever.
Easily.
Because most venues require that from you.
I would say most venues, especially ones that I played, required
They want you
four
to.
four
Yeah,
12s.
they really want it.
Yes. Basement shows require multiple Marshall stacks. So before we go any further, let's talk about some technical details, some things you need to watch out for when using something like the Powerstage 700, and how we will be hooking up the Fractal FM3 here in just a second. Now, the Powerstage 700 is 350 watts at 8 ohms and 700 watts at 4 ohms. Now, 700 watts is, if you're using a guitar cabinet, now I'm coming from guitar guy land. He is typically these days living in bass player land. 700 watts can potentially blow your 412.
Hell yeah.
For your guitar cab, your Marshalls, Boogies, doesn't matter. 700 watts you need to be very careful of. However, when it comes to something like an Ampeg Ampeg 810, you can worry less. However, that's still a lot of power.
Those are typically taking 300 tube watts also. So
Also that.
yeah, it's like be mindful.
That's a lot.
You can do some harm.
Yes, you can. However,
you could run two 810s.
You could
and you'd be
run.
very happy.
You could run two 810s because, as I will note, that these are dual inputs. All right, so there's a left and right input for the DIs, and thusly a left and right output for the speaker cabinet. So while setting up and testing sounds for this video, I found out the hard way that the left input doesn't make sound out of the right output.
Well, when you're looking over the top.
Yeah, I didn't really. Oops.
Yeah, oopsie poopsie. Stereo XLR outs also.
So the stereo XLR cab sim outs are also next to the speaker outputs, which are combination speak-on. So you can have speak-on if you're running a bass rig, or just use a regular speaker, quarter-inch speaker cable if you're using a guitar rig. That leads me to the connections that we are going to be making with the FM3. Now with the FM3, I'm going to, of course, be plugging in to the instrument input via a 1/4-inch TS guitar cable. I will also be coming out of the modder, typically in just about any situation, you are going to be coming out of one of the chosen outputs that you select in your software. This is a TS 1/4-inch guitar cable connecting from the modeler to the input of the Powerstage. Do not use a speaker cable, kids. Speaker cable is only to
run the speaker.
To run speakers. All right. Next, let's talk about gain staging. It is very important that you do not hit the input of the Powerstage too hard. Otherwise, the little red light will clip and show you and yell at you via a red LED light.
That sound poopy.
Yeah, and it's not going to sound great at all, right? So let the power amp do the power amp thing and make sure you are not hitting this that hard, all right? On the FM3, these are simply just physical dials here for the master outputs for output 1 and 2, and you just have to be mindful of when you're dialing in the patch, and when you finally do have your patch dialed, play as hard as you can, play as loud as you need to using the Fractal, and then dial it back down just to make sure you're not clipping on the front of the Powerstage. Shall we move on and get to the playthrough?
Why not?
All right, let's move on and get to the playthrough. I am in the FM3 edit. I'm going to build a patch starting with, of course, an amp block. I don't know what this is stock. This is an FAS Modern 3. Mike, go ahead and play something.
That's pretty hot.
What do you typically like? Real amp, no, you know, budget be damned. What do you like?
Well, I love the sound of a hot rodded Marshall, you know?
Okay. Okay.
And I like to run it master volume up and preamp, you know, about 3 or 4.
Okay, let's try an 800 modded.
It's a little bright.
It is a little bright, but overall, how do you feel about the tone? You want to try some other thing?
It sounds a little bit thin for me.
Okay, let's try the 2204. They can't hear you when you play.
Bring the upper mid range up a little bit.
Okay, so you want to stick with this? And
yeah, why not?
Okay, cool.
I like it. It's got it's definitely got the lower mids and the bass.
All right, cool. Go ahead and play. I feel like there's not a lot happening with the treble response of this particular model. We could either, at this point, add an EQ or try some other amps.
Let's try some other amps.
Great.
You know what I like?
What do you like?
Keep it simple.
I like keep it simple. Something for you. You know what? Let's try you ever try a newfangled Marshall JVM?
Let's go. I have used them on occasion at festivals.
Okay.
When they're backlined.
All right. Let's try that.
That could still use a little bit of presence.
Okay.
That's pretty rock.
That's not bad.
That's a hell of a rock sound.
That is pretty good. Okay, so is this indicative of a guitar that you would typically play?
It's a guitar
Like
that I've been playing a lot lately. I play humbucker guitars unless I'm playing it like alt.
So typically not a Tele guy or a P90 guy.
I love
Like
Telecasters.
yeah.
But yeah, if I'm playing rock, I'm humbucker guy.
Okay.
Yeah.
So let's go ahead and add some sauce to this.
Let's go.
I'm going to back the gain down, and we're going to add a boost pedal, an overdrive pedal. All right, so go ahead and play.
That EQ really works.
The EQ really works. I was like, oh yeah, there's output EQ. That's good.
That sounds mean as hell.
You know, this is funny. This is pretty realistic because having owned I own several JVMs. The channel, the orange channel, is so good, but it is so gained out. I currently have the gain at just below 9 o'clock.
Yeah, that's like 2.5, right?
Just cracked.
Yeah.
I am goosing it with an overdrive, but without the overdrive, I think it thins out a little bit and it loses some kind of saturation. Although we could just crank up the gain as we had it.
Sure.
But we could try this now that we have the EQ.
Where's the master volume on the amp?
Master volume is at 4.
Yeah.
Almost halfway. Pretty cranking. It's pretty good.
This is pretty good.
So, what else do you normally like in a tone?
I don't run a lot of delay or anything like that. I have been listening. No, I don't do reverb. I don't do any of that stuff. Like I'm pretty straight ahead guy. Cool. I am a big Jane's Addiction fan. Maybe we could dial up some kind of thing like that.
Okay.
What
was that? Chorus maybe?
I think he's probably running. I think he runs all Boss pedals, and
yes,
he's
he
got
does.
like a DD 2 or 3.
Sure.
I don't, not for his. I don't
real
think
dialed back.
Yeah, it's like mixed pretty low.
Doesn't he always have? I have it pretty short.
Yeah. Something like that.
It's pretty good. Just very subtle. I mean, the mix on this is 2.8%. Bring it up.
It's pretty cool.
Pretty cool. So our second tone is going to be
a clean sound.
Yeah, let's go cleanish. What kind of cleans do you like?
Oh, give me a Fender Deluxe Reverb.
Okay.
Oh yeah, because we don't want it like. I mean, I'm not a jazz chorus clean kind of guy.
Sure.
I'll leave that for Hetfield.
Okay, here, try this.
Maybe a twin reverb. That's got a little more clean overhead and some brightness.
Let's see. Let's try that.
Is the overdrive? Is the boost still in front of it? What's that block there? Yeah, that's good.
That's a bassman.
Is that right?
Pretty good.
There we go.
Do you typically like this much dirt, or should we back it off and maybe add a compressor? What do you like?
That.
Okay.
You know what I like? I like Frank Zappa. Why don't you put a phaser on there?
Ooh.
A phaser, but mixed, not obnoxiously up in our faces.
Okay. What kind of speed do you like this at?
Slow as heck.
Just trudging along.
Slow, like almost, arrested in its movement. Well, got pretty fast there for a second. Turned into some Beatles thing. That's pretty nice, isn't it?
That's pretty nice.
This is pretty neat.
It is pretty neat. So let's go back.
So far, this guy's holding up real nice.
So now let's fine tune with the EQ on the bass, middle, and treble.
All right.
And if I had to make a call, it's making sure they're all at noon. I would still add maybe a little bit more top end.
I would also.
Yeah. Let's go ahead and play.
We had our phaser on.
I turned the
Let's try that
phaser
again.
off too. Let's try it without the delay and the phase.
All right.
Let's wrap this up. We've done the playthrough. We have everything back out. What do you think, Mike?
I love it. I think I've used my use of modelers is limited, but there's something that I'm uncomfortable with, and that is the part where I can run a cabinet. Like, I am a person, even when I'm on ears, I want some air in the room.
As do I.
And I understand that not everyone is like that, but I am.
Yeah.
And so if I had this in my rig, even if I wasn't, this makes me comfortable using a modeler.
I'll be honest, the amount of power this thing has makes me slightly uncomfortable, just because it would be me who knocks, I don't know, it would be me who goes, oh, it sounds pretty good, papoon. Like, I don't trust myself around this much power.
I can't get over how awesome, like 700 stereo watts. So if you are a one guitar, one bass band and you're both on a modeler, this is your entire rig.
Yep.
This is it. And that is, to me, incredible.
Also, with the EQ on the front of the Powerstage, if you want to make some tweaks quickly and efficiently, you do not have to go into your modeler to go into some submenu or to tweak your tone here. You can simply dial it for the room. That's what I used to do. I used to dial for the room with my Powerstage 200 using the EQ right on the front. All right, so at every venue sounds different. On the stage sounds different. I'm just over here just kind of tweaking and feeling it without touching my patch.
That's another part about using a modeler live that makes me, and I think a lot of traditionalists, nervous.
Sure.
Like having to go fish through menus to get to something that they're used to being able to do very
physical, tactile.
Yeah, very easily. So
yeah,
I think this is a great, amazing piece of kit. Bravo, Seymour Duncan.
And if you wanted to, you could just toss it in your suitcase and travel with it as well.
Or your backpack.
Backpack?
Yeah, you carry it. I think this...
It does come with rack ears.
This would... Look at the size of my... the front of my gig bag there. It fits in my gig bag.
We're looking at it basically like what is a mono gig bag, right? A dual guitar gig bag. But yeah, they would fit in that just fine.
Incredible.
Technology. Pretty cool. All applicable links will be down below in the description. I've been Fluff.
I'm Mike.
He's Mike. And yeah, thank you so much, everybody. And we will see you next time here at the podcast studio. See ya.